Brandon Cohea returns to the Tachi Palace Fights cage for the first time following his February victory over Castle Williams. Riding a 3-fight win streak, the tough featherweight looks to assert his dominance inside the cage. When Drake Boen takes the TPF cage, don't blink, because win or lose, the fight rarely goes longer than a minute. With 2 TPF victories on his record already, Boen looks to make it 3 in a row. Coming up next, it's Brandon Lionheart Cohea against Drake Sticks and Stones Boen. This is Tachi Palace Fights. Drake Boen on his way to the cage. He is currently riding a 2-fight win streak. This will be his 5th time he steps into the Tachi Palace Hotel and Casino. He's a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Last time out, we saw him stop Sam Alvarez in 41 seconds with a triangle choke. It's funny when you talk to Drake Boen, Cody, because his thought process in the cage is nothing what it actually looks like. I talked to him about that Alvarez fight, and he said, I did really well in that fight because I took my time. It was a 41-second triangle choke. I don't know how he took his time, but he said things just moved slower in that fight. He said that the biggest thing that he fears inside the cage isn't necessarily losing, it's putting on a performance that the fans don't enjoy. He put on a legendary war with Castle Williams. He says he understands that he might get a little more emotional inside the cage, but if he can have that quote-unquote more laid-back approach that saw him earn a submission in 41 seconds, that he can perform better. So we'll see if he has that more reserved approach inside the cage tonight. But more often than not, when Drake Boen gets inside, it doesn't last long.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've seen just about all of his professional fights, definitely all the ones that have happened here at the Tachi Palace, and I've yet to see a boring one. He was knocked out in 6 seconds in one of them, and then he's gotten a couple submission finishes where he's put the guy completely to sleep. They don't even have time to tap. That's how good of a jiu-jitsu practitioner he is. And then that war you mentioned with Castle Williams. So this guy's always fun to watch. Whenever you see his name on a card, he's fun to watch, and he's sporting some new ink. He's got the Conor McGregor chest piece going on as well.
Yeah, that will make its Tachi Palace Fights debut tonight. Brandon Cohea returns to the TPF cage for the 2nd time. He is riding a 3-fight win streak. Speaking of Castle Williams, he actually defeated Castle by decision in February. He is the brother of TPF veteran Aaron Cohea. If you look at Cohea's win over Castle Williams, Drake Boen actually talked about that, and Boen took some credit. He said, I think that we saw Cohea win that fight simply because I laid down the groundwork for it. I laid out the blueprint. So he's almost taking credit for some of Brandon Cohea's accomplishments against Castle Williams.
Yeah, and I don't know how true that is or not, but I'll tell you one thing. This Cohea guy is a warrior, man. This guy does not quit. He's a fighter through and through. He's also like a firm believer, has a firm religious beliefs. You see that shaped into the back of his head there. This is a guy that's also been exciting. I think he was brought in possibly to lose to Castle Williams, and then he goes out and he has the performance that he does. Interesting fighter that never seems to quit. This is going to be, when I saw this fight on the card, I thought these two guys match up really well because every fight I've seen of both of them have been very exciting, so I'm excited for this one.
I think that's why you see this as high on the card as it is. Richard Goodman very in tune with the fights that he makes, and you know, if you want to call this maybe the main card, I think that's a fair statement because this is the type of fight that you would open a television broadcast with. You look at a fight card, you want to make sure that the first fight on the big stage is action-packed, and Cohea and Boen very well might deliver what you're expecting.
Yeah, and I'm really interested to see the game plan for Cohea because we've seen how good Boen is off of his back. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of game plan he comes to this fight with.
Featherweights inside the cage. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape. Brandon Cohea stands 5 feet 7 inches tall. Drake Boen, bit taller at 6 feet even. Both came in under 145 pounds. Cohea 22, Drake Boen 23. Brandon Cohea 3-1 on his MMA record as Drake Boen brings in a 4-1 ledger. Let's throw it up to Tyson Johnson for our official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next Tachi Palace fight is 3 5-minute rounds in the featherweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This fighter stands 6 feet tall. He weighed in at 145 pounds. He represents the Eric Nolan fight team with a mixed martial arts record of 4 wins and only 2 defeats. He hails from Bakersfield, California. Please welcome Drake Sticks and Stones Boen. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner stands 5 feet 7 inches tall. He weighed in at 145 pounds. He represents Team Ultimate Brothers with a mixed martial arts record of 3 wins and only 1 defeat. He hails from Springville, California. Please welcome Brendan Lionheart Cohea. Your referee for this bout will be Jason McCoy.
Jason McCoy getting his featherweight assignments. It's Brandon Cohea, Drake Boen. It's interesting, I was talking to Boen yesterday, and he said that he firmly believes he's going to have to knock out or choke out Brandon Cohea. Says that this guy will not give an inch. Oh, hard left hand there by Drake Boen. Cohea immediately on the defensive.
This is not where Cohea wants to be, a jiu-jitsu brown belt on top of you in dominant position. I don't know how much he was hurt from that punch, or it was more of a momentum type of slip. It didn't look like something landed super flush or that his eyes were crossed or anything like that. He looked very coherent throughout the whole thing. Boen is no joke from this position, so Cohea's got to watch his P's and Q's and try to get back to a more neutral position. This is probably not where he wanted the fight to take place.
You mentioned that brown belt in jiu-jitsu. He has well over 4 minutes here to call upon that submission offensive to try to wrap something up and end this one in the first round. See Boen here, got traditional hooks in. Very tall fighter, might switch to a body triangle.
So right now just working normal back control, and there's that figure 4 lock. This is all bad for Cohea.
Cohea just almost flattened out here, covering up. Boen hasn't really landed a lot of strikes yet.
Couple of elbows. He's trying to open him up. Cohea's doing a good job of just protecting his face. Trying to get out of this body lock. We saw this with Alvarez earlier. I mean, it's a position that kind of limits you in some regard because you're not able to transition as well. You're kind of locked yourself. But if you've got a good squeeze on the body, on the abdomen, it really took the wind out of your opponent, and that's one of the advantages of it. And it's really hard to get out of. Solario was able to get out of it a while ago with Alvarez, but you don't see that too often. Usually a guy gets a figure 4 lock around your gut. It's going to be difficult to get out of. Temporarily gets the mount there. Cohea needs to shrimp. Stop giving him the back. Shrimp.
Yeah, Cohea definitely down big here early. He's going to have to get out of this. But if he stays here, and even if nothing happens, if Boen's able to hold on to this, I mean, that's a 10-A round.
Well, I'm just surprised the fight's still going on because Drake Boen's in this fight. And you usually don't see that. But, yeah, Cohea's doing a good job defending, but he's going to have to do something to reverse the position. Not going to win the round giving up back control like this.
Credit Boen here for taking his time. You know, he got very aggressive in the Castle-Williams fight, would, honestly let Castle escape some precarious positions.
Yeah, and that's one of his kind of knocks on him is that he's so aggressive. He's so, he talked about being patient in that 41-second submission. Kind of an interesting that he would think that was patience, but he's a very aggressive fighter. Like he said, he likes to come out and put on a show for the crowd, and he cares maybe more about that than anything else. And if you're a person who's buying a ticket to this show or watching on SureDog, that's great because you get to see somebody who's trying to come out and put on a show. But strategy sometimes has to play a part in things too. But right now, either way, he's really just dominating this round.
Drake sticks and stones Boen, working the body triangle here on Lionheart Brandon Cohea. We'll see if Boen tries to land some strikes here. He's trying to flatten Cohea out. Small right hands to the right side of Cohea's head. 90 seconds left in round number 1.
Yeah, interesting to see. He goes back to the body triangle. He's landed some short shots. Cohea hasn't really shown that he has the ability to get out. He's rolling. He's rolling from his back to his stomach, staying on his knees, but just eating some little shots, covering up. Hasn't shown that he has the ability to get out of the position other than just rolling and rolling and rolling. So not where he wants to be, but he is surviving. If he's looking at it like, I'm just wanting to survive this round, I'll come back next round, make better decisions, stay on my feet. A couple hard elbows to the body there by Boen.
Attacking the shoulder of Brandon Cohea.
Oh, tries another
He's really putting a lot of force behind that right elbow. Brandon Cohea trying to move. Jason McCoy, the referee here, in charge of the action, allowing Drake Boen to do some work.
Yeah, there's been no reason to stand him up. He's been in a dominant position the entire round. Cohea now in a more traditional position. The figure four is not locked in. 10 seconds left in the round. He did survive. Definitely lost the round, but if his goal was to survive, he accomplished that.
Don't miss Muay Thai 4, Beauty and the Beast, Thursday, December 3rd, featuring world-class kickboxer Stephanie Frosto and Carter Williams. For more information, visit TachiPalace.com. Combat sports action obviously underway here inside TPF 25. TJ DeSantis, Cody Gibson. That round was all Drake Boen. Cody, I mean, it started with a beautiful strike that floored Cohea. I think that's a 10-8 round for Drake Boen. Cohea really had nothing in that one.
I don't know if there was enough damage done. It can constitute a 10-8 round.
It's a shutout, though.
It's a shutout for sure. He did floor him with that punch. Cohea was coming in with a pretty telegraphed kick. You know, it might have been partly because of the momentum, but he definitely connected with that punch that put him down. I don't know about 10-8 though, TJ. Come on now.
It's a shutout. If you don't have any offense, 10-8.
You got to do damage though for a 10-8. You got to really
He
dominate.
dropped him.
Come on. I don't
You know,
call it a
before
10-8.
you were saying you want more liberal 10-8s. Now you're being more conservative.
Well, I call it how I see it, you know, and I think that was a 10-9. But me or you, doesn't really matter what you or I think because we don't have judges' cards in front of us.
That's true.
That's probably a good thing.
5 minutes in the books between Brandon Cohea and Drake Boen. Round number 2 underway. Cohea comes out with a kick. Eats right hand there by Drake Boen.
Another nice stiff jab. Boen towers over him. He keeps throwing that.
Another
nice right hand.
Boen content to counter strike here.
Well, yeah, because Cohea's throwing these leg kicks without any setup. Now he's starting to level him with some punches. Cohea's trying to reverse positions. Nice knee to the body by Boen.
Oh, beautiful right knee there. Lands hard on Brandon Cohea. Wow.
Cohea's just getting real wild out there. I think he's a little bit desperate because he's just kind of wailing in now. He's throwing those leg kicks with no setup. You set those up with punches to the face. You get the guy blocking his face. Then you throw your leg kick. If all you do is throw that leg kick by itself, your opponent, even if he eats it, you can just counter with punches. So definitely a little bit over-aggressive there by Cohea. Bowen's using some nice clinch work. We've seen a couple nice knees from these positions.
The most success enjoyed in the fight is right here for Brandon Cohea thus far. Now Boen trying to slam him down, slam him right on his face. Yeah, my goodness, Cody.
Yeah, we've seen knockouts from that before. Cohea's going high guard here. Now we'll see him on the bottom was in a better position, but a nice pass slide through there by Boen.
Boen working with the Camarillo brothers in Bakersfield. So not only is he a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, he's a Camarillo brown belt.
Yeah, solid school. Definitely well versed on the ground. Hasn't been able to put Cohea away though. Looks like
and he mentioned that in the pre-fight. He said that if he was going to win this fight by stoppage, I mean, he was literally going to have to put the lights out, he felt, of Brandon Cohea.
Back to a dominant position though, able to move to mount. Cohea, his defense to mount, give up his back. Not necessarily the best place to be after spending almost 4.5 minutes in this same position the round before. Simple things like shrimping from when a guy has your mount, might be a better option for him moving forward because he hasn't been able to escape this position yet.
Drake Boen again on the back here of Brandon Cohea. A lot of time left to work here. Approaching the halfway point of this fight.
Back to the figure four lock around the body. He's trying to isolate that arm.
Very nicely done.
He's got it isolated. There's a lot of attacks now for him if he can keep that thing isolated.
Seen BJ Penn execute that very nicely inside the UFC in the past.
Cohea understands what he's trying to do, and he's
I
trying
think
to
he's
get
going for
that
an inverted triangle.
Cohea reverses position, but he might end up. Oh, good job posturing there. Boen is looking for a triangle.
A risky move for Drake Boen ends with him on his back.
And we're back on our feet.
Now Brandon Cohea going for a takedown.
There's that same hip toss.
Look at that reverse by Drake Boen, on point.
And he's got a strange arm lock.
Oh my goodness, he's got Brandon Cohea wrapped up there, but able to get out.
He's locking on that triangle. It's in
The same
deep.
triangle
It's
that
in
earned
deep.
him a win over Sam Alvarez. 90 seconds to work it to submission.
That was a strange position. It looked like he might have almost broke Cohea's arm the way they fell. It doesn't look like that's the case, but he's got this. This is where we saw him put Alvarez to sleep his last fight. He's got a deep, deep triangle, and he's doing everything right to put him to sleep here. And Cohea might be the kind of guy that has to go to sleep. He's trying to throw some elbows, but he needs to be worried about this submission because this is going to be tight.
Bones wrapped up the right leg of Cohea, lets it go. He's yet to really pull down on the head. He's hugging his own leg here. I assume that tightens it up, Cody.
Yeah, it definitely does. Sometimes the little things in a triangle make all the difference. Not sure what the problem is, why he hasn't finished it sometimes. You just got to keep working, and now he's throwing some elbows. You got to keep adjusting and adjusting and adjusting. He's doing a good job wrapping that leg up. And this should be a wrap, at least from my perspective, what he's got.
Cohea goes to his seat now. Maybe Bones going to try to maybe isolate that arm. Little thumbs up here from Brandon Cohea. Would you like to see Bowen try to switch this maybe to a triangle armbar?
Yeah, I might. I mean, at this point, or just keep adjusting. If he feels like he can adjust and adjust. Cohea's tough, though. He might go to sleep before. Now he's pulling down again on his own leg.
Look at that clock, though. 15 seconds left for Drake Bowen to try to get Brandon Cohea out of this one.
And if he's been really going for it here, when he gets up, his legs are going to feel like rubber most likely. So Cohea's just trying to, again, hang on here deep in this submission.
I'm surprised that Bowen here didn't try to maybe elbow the forehead of Cohea, try to slice him up. But you look at Cohea, he's not in a hurry to stand up by any means.
Yeah, he's a little dazed. He definitely was not going to tap. He was going to go to sleep. We'll see how Bowen reacts, too. His legs got to be a little rubbery after squeezing that triangle for well over a minute there.
Brandon Lionheart Cohea against Drake Bowen, who has a lion on his heart.
Yeah, this is a big confusing mess, let's just be honest. Lionheart, other guy's got a lion on his chest. Anyway, there's that leg kick with no setup, and that's why he eats the punch. Jab, inside leg kick, nice stiff jab right there. These guys were throwing some haymakers on their feet, throwing some bombs. Here's one of those nice hip tosses we saw from Cohen that puts him right on his head. No, boom, right on his head. I've seen guys go out just from that before, so nice little hip toss. Cohen tries to do the same, and then he gets hip tossed again. This time he doesn't land on his head, but it looks like almost like he dislocates his shoulder. He could have, And this is where we see him transition nicely into a triangle.
Drake Bowen showing all of his skills. He wrapped up that triangle. Cohea was in it for a couple minutes. Not able to get him out of there was Drake Bowen, but here we go. More action inside the TPF featherweight division. Round number 3.
Hug it out, hug it out.
Nice little embrace, touch of gloves.
That's when you body slam somebody. It's my personal opinion.
Hard to blame a wrestler.
So if you're Cohea right now, I mean, you need a finish. You got to really go for it. Head kick, left, right, left.
Nice punches by Bowen. Cohea initially, it's a clinch, eats a knee.
Double underhooks here, right to a trip takedown for Bowen. This is not where you want to be if you're Cohen. Cohea working a rubber guard, actually. And he's got that arm isolated.
Bowen able to stay out of damage. Now he's going to be able to pass for that rubber guard position, possibly.
It looks like he has
almost
passed.
cleared that left leg. The foot's still there in the crook of Cohea's leg.
There he goes. He gets it past, and he's going all the way to side control now. Tries to come to the other side and ends up back in the open butterfly, half butterfly, kind of modified butterfly guard of Cohea.
Again, TJ DeSantis, Cody Gibson hanging out cage side in Lemoore. Tachi Palace Fights 25, Fall Brawl. Don't forget our main event and co-main event title fights. Tony Yamas against Dominic Clark for the lightweight championship, and Alex Perez defends his title against Adam Antolin. Drake Bowen passes now inside. Drake Boen, very calm. He said he wanted to be methodical in his fight. He's done just that.
Yeah, he's shown his jiu-jitsu chops, his ability to hold position, get position, threaten with submissions. I mean, Cohea's just a guy who's just not going to tap. He's going to go to sleep, and I thought he might go to sleep in that last round, but he was able to hang tight. Looked like Boen was attempting to transition a mount there. Now knee on belly, and now mount. So this is right where he wants to be. Cohea doing what I think the only thing he knows how to do is just turn to his back, which has really been his kryptonite this fight, is his inability to reverse position or shrimp or do anything other than defend the submissions with heart, with grit, but he's really had no answer for the brown belt level Camarillo Jiu-Jitsu of Drake Boen.
Drake Boen's been in control of this one. We saw him go for that inverted triangle earlier in the fight. He did end up on bottom, but with Boen this far ahead on the judges' scorecards, and we're under almost the final 2 minutes here of this fight, would you like to see him go for maybe an advanced submission, maybe force the issue a bit more?
Well, I mean, I would, but at the same time, he's in here trying to get the W, and Cohea's a dangerous guy, so one punch, one change of position could really change the fight. So it's really up to Boen what he wants to do, how hard he wants to push for a finish. You see he's throwing some little heel strikes to the body there, to the ribs of Cohen. We'll see here. We got about a minute and a half left. We'll see if he really starts to go for it, or if we see Cohea really say, forget it. I'm going broke here and trying to do something. But unfortunately, in this position, he hasn't shown that he has the ability to get out of it. So kind of hard to go for broke in this position here.
Boen isolating that right arm now of Cohea. More heel strikes there. Those strikes to the right side of Cohea's body where the liver is. Probably not going to be a knockout blow, but those things got to hurt.
Yeah, they don't feel good by any means. Got him flattened out here. Cohea continues to roll, but I mean, that's just not how you're going to get out of the position against an experienced jiu-jitsu guy who understands back control, understands hips and position and all that good stuff that comes with control in jiu-jitsu and wrestling. It's just not going to work just switching your hips from stomach to back over and over again. He is doing a good job, though, when he gets flattened out, trying to change the position, because we all know that getting flattened out is essentially a fight ender if the guy just starts laying down, throwing down some punches. So he's avoiding that, but again, we could see, I thought he was going to transition to the armbar there. He looks like he's going for it. He's going for it. He's trying to transition to that armbar.
That is Drake Boen's style, trying to put on a finish here for the crowd in the final moments.
It's deep.
Cohea's arms extended. He's looking at the ref. He's not going to tap. That's why they call him Lionheart. Brandon Cohea gets out of harm's way. His arm is definitely hurt, though. He is in a lot of pain, Cohea.
I honestly think he might have hurt his shoulder on that throw attempt, because that's the same shoulder. It looks like he's dislocated. Look at the top of that shoulder. It looks like it's popping out a little bit, like he might have had a dislocation or a separation.
It's definitely worse for wear. You're right. I mean, he was wrapped up in a bunch of knots during that one exchange. Maybe we can see that here in the replay, but Drake Boen shines tonight inside the TPF cage.
Yeah, real jiu-jitsu dominance by Boen. You see here a leg kick. This is where Boen really lit him up here for a minute with some good punches. Tips a head kick, 1, 2, 3. 3 punches land.
Takedowns were on point for Drake Boen. When Brandon Cohea went for takedowns of his own, Boen reversed, dumped him on his head. Now we see Boen going for that fight-ending attempt. Not able to get it done, but definitely had the arm extended. Lionheart, Brandon Cohea, definitely shown worse for the wear. Doctor's going to try to give him some attention. He may very well be injured.
Yeah, I'm thinking a separated or a dislocated shoulder. And I think it came from that throw attempt. I could see that his arm, it didn't look right when it hit. He fought through it, though, the rest of the fight. But that's where I think the injury probably took place most likely, from one of those two positions. You couldn't tell until that fight was over that he had an injury. He really didn't wear it on his sleeve too much, so to speak. Hit it from his opponent for sure.
Absolutely. hats off to Brandon Cohea, but tonight should belong to Drake Boen. To make it official, here's Tyson Johnson.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause for both of these gladiators. And now, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 exciting rounds, the judges have reached a unanimous decision for your winner. Out of the blue corner, Drake Sticks and Stones Boen.
Drake Boen gets it done, controls the entire 15 minutes, and let's not forget, Cody, it started with a big punch early in the first round.
Yeah, it did, and just real domination from start to finish from Boen. You know, Boen had a loss to Castle Williams. Cohen had a win over Castle Williams, so if you're looking at it, the MMA math there says, oh, maybe Cohen's got the upper hand. But Boen shows that he's getting better every fight. He shows that, you know, his striking looked better tonight too. It looked like real crisp striking, real fluid, and just good everywhere. So another big win for him. He's going to keep moving up that ladder.
If you want to know more about Drake Boen, watch his highlight reel because this was some fantastic stuff. He's a favorite here in Lemoore based on that fight that he put on with Castle Williams. And you see him still exciting the crowd here inside the bingo hall, dropping Brandon Cohea earlier. I mean, he really had it all. He had strikes, he had takedowns, he had submission attempts. He doesn't get the stoppage, but this was a very nice performance to see the all-around mixed martial arts game of one Drake Boen.
Yeah, and it's the second or third time tonight we've seen a guy that pretty much getting dominated the entire fight. But, you know, he's got heart. He doesn't quit. And this is, I think, where he separates the shoulder, dislocates it. Yeah, that looks bad. And then he ends up in the triangle right after this, but doesn't tap. So it's the nickname Lionheart is there for a reason. The kid doesn't quit, and he proves it again tonight. But just a little outmatched tonight. Needs to work on his jiu-jitsu a little bit more, striking a little bit more, but definitely showing that he's a true Lionheart.
We can maybe get a shot here inside the cage, a nice embrace of Drake Boen and Brandon Cohea. Cohea's left arm in that sling. He is on his way to get some medical attention. Definitely having a hard time getting out of the cage, in a tremendous amount of pain, and that adrenaline's going to wear off, and it's only going to get worse for him as the night progresses.
Yeah, that tends to be the way it goes. You feel like you're okay after the fight, and then you get to the back. By the time you get your wraps off and you're getting into the shower, that's when you really start feeling it. The little things too, the little bumps and bruises in a tough fight, and definitely wish him the best. But getting carried off in a stretcher here could be a serious injury on that, even the rotator cuff possibly. Hopefully not that. Hopefully it's just something smaller. But
top shelf medical team here at the Palace in Lemoore. A precautionary measure to get Brandon Cohea out of here, safe and sound. Try to heal up. Kid's got a heart of a lion. Safe to say, he'll be back. He'll get better. He'll try to fix whatever's broken inside and outside of the cage, and I'm sure he'll learn from this fight.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you got to keep in mind these guys both only have less than 5-6 fights, so definitely a lot of growth from both guys. But you definitely will see Cohea back in the cage sooner than later.
Absolutely. Next up, a catch weight contest between Kyle Reyes and Chris Cully.